Leeds is a really sort of young, multicultural city. It's a real powerhouse for innovation, technology. In 2015, we got our first, new linear accelerators. And with that, we very much felt that was our point to drive the digital vision for the department. We were the first in the UK, some of the first in Europe to have totally digital solutions for various things. It's nice to say that now we are completely paperless department. We are totally digital. For years, we've been trying to find novel solutions of bringing the patient closer to the software. We can bring a patient close to a piece of physical machinery, like here in Gamma Knife, but actually the software is still stuck on a PC in a control room. The one that's always stuck out most was about having an instantaneous electronic referral. Here in Leeds, the first smart form we developed was an inclusivity pregnancy form, and we complete one of these forms on every single patient between the ages of 12 and 55. This is a nationally mandated sort of smart form. Smart forms, they can be very simple, they can be very complex, but what they enable you to do is to tailor questions based upon smart questions.
The smart forms have also been proven to be hugely beneficial in audit, so instead of having to retrieve paper notes from a completely different building across the trust, we have that instantaneous at-a-glance record of everything with all the appropriate signatures and signatories and an electronic approval, which makes things far more secure. It also, in terms of confidentiality, means that usually we would scan a piece of paper and bin it, and we do have mechanisms for that. But Smart Clinic has allowed us to be completely paperless, and therefore we don't run any risks of any confidentiality breaches.
The way we use Smart Clinic in the treatment flow is we have an iPad that's with us at all times. So when we're with the patient, so we can go into their room, we can ask them all the questions that we need to ask. That same information comes with us straight into the actual procedure room. When we go down to MR, we bring that information with us, and we can actually kind of keep them as part of the process.
Smart Clinic has enabled communication between the teams more easily by just the ability for us just to transfer that data quicker. So instead of us, again, having to run around with pieces of paper, what could get lost, could get left somewhere, that information is just straight away sent straight down to our teams.
Smart Clinic has allowed us to increase our MOSAIQ usage by enabling us to use more intuitive pathways and workflows. There were limitations within MOSAIQ that meant that we had pathways that had to stop and restart, which wasn't always necessarily efficient. There was a high risk of elements getting dropped because of the human interaction needed with it, and Smart Clinic has allowed us to remove that human element, which means that the workflow is much more automated.
Connectivity is absolutely crucial. It allows us to ensure that the patient's care record is centralized in one particular place, accessible by all, and indeed you have that excellent repository for all information from referral to treatment.
Previously, we were having to spend a good hour and a half at the end of the day going through quite a complex pathway, ensuring that all the relevant forms had been completed or steps in the process had been completed. But since we've adopted smart boards in pre-treatment, we've at least half the amount of manual checks that we're doing.
I think here in Leeds, we've always tried to set a high example of what radiotherapy delivery should be. We've always been innovative. We've always driven new technologies, new developments. We've led the way in the UK with the implementation of many Elekta things, from the Agility Head, the Versa HD Linacs, Triple F delivery, Sabre, and very much we work with our network partners. We formed a network with our other cancer centres over on the East Coast in Hull and down south in Sheffield, and we share that information and that expertise so that they can learn from what we do, and therefore then they can improve their radiotherapy at the same time.